Yo, what's up? This your boy Derek Brinchy of Strike7Sports.com. This is another episode of Strike 7 Sports Podcast. I'm joined by my co-hosts Brian Botter and Leo the Seabear. This is another episode of Strike 7 Sports Podcast. So tonight we're just gonna open things up with the new news concerning the New Orleans Pelicans, more in particular with Zion Williamson as he continues to try to get back to the ranks of playing in the NBA on the court, but according to the reports, is that he's going to be reevaluated in 2 weeks and to be cleared for he is cleared for on the court activities. But Williamson has not played since January 2nd, so he has been out for approximately 2 months. And this is like the third, I would say, the second injury that he's had that has like sidelining for the remainder of the season. He had one during his rookie year, but the pandemic popped up, but he was allowed to come back and play. But other than that, he just been inactive for the most part. And I just want to ask y'all, can you build a team, a winning team, around Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram going forward, given the fact that both players have dealt with injuries in back-to-back seasons?
I'll take this one first, and I'll make it short and sweet. You can deal with Brandon Ingram. Zion, you need to build a team that is prepared to play some games without him, whether that's via injury or whether that's via him just missing games because he won't be able to play an entire season. But the bigger question that I'm not sure if you mentioned this or not is there's some talks about whether the Pelicans should trade him. They definitely shouldn't do that. The biggest reason why actually may surprise people, his value is super low right now. So even if you wanted to trade him, you're not going to get that much. So why not let him, give him at least a year to build his value back up and then take it from there. But like I said, the main point is the Pelicans have to build a team that can be competitive when he's not on the court, and then when he's on the court, take advantage.
Go ahead.
I don't think that you can build a team around Zion like that. I think you can around Brandon Ingram because I think he's starting to somewhat shake his injury woes, but I don't think that you can build a team around Zion. I just think he's just too unreliable. When you played an average of 28 games, it is not his fault. When he's on the court, he's dominant. He is dominant. Like that's why the Pelicans haven't given up on him, and that's why he got that max contract, DB. That's why y'all paid him all that money, all that green, to go ahead and to lead y'all to take that next step. But injuries have been the story of this man's career, and the talent is, and that's what makes it frustrating, DB. And I know you're gonna talk about it too. But the talent is what makes it frustrating. If he weren't good, then you would. When he played, he leaves. He was supposed to start in the All-Star game this year, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, he was one of the starters. Zion was one of the starters. So now you gotta understand this too. So if they're gonna have to get at most you're getting 60 games out of him, 60 games a season, and you're just gonna have to live with that. If they can get 5 or 6 years out of him, you just get 60 games. I think that's a win in this situation.
60 games?
Yeah,
he can't even get to 40, bro.
You got to shake. Jaren Jackson had injury issues too, though. Before he had injury issues, not like this severe, but he was hurt a lot too early in his career, and he was able to shake himself. And you see what he's doing now. So, and we know what Zion can do. So, Lord willing, he shakes those injury issues. Because if he does, he played 61 games. DB, he played 61 in 2021. He played 61 games.
Yeah, he did.
So. He did. So he's able to play. He's shown that. But unfortunately, just as of late, hasn't been there.
Well, me, man, look, I just think that I mean, this has been going on. This stuff has been going on like pre-COVID, like before the pandemic. This guy was dealing with injuries, man. But if they want to build around him, they got to add, better pieces, man. Like the Grizzlies got. The Grizzlies, like they go without Ja Morant. They got players in place that can, hold it down while he's out for whatever. You know what I'm saying? Unlike the Pelicans, you got guys that they're not consistent, man. They're kind of sporadic. And CJ McCullough is a star, but he can only help to a certain extent, and he needs to be playing off the ball, man. You know what I'm saying? He's a ball dominant point guard. He's not really a true point guard, and that's what the Pelicans need as well. You know what I'm saying? A true point guard, and they need another star, a star that's reliable. You know what I'm saying? That could be called upon to make shots. You know what I'm saying? But if you just keep it the way it is, man, you kind of like, if you double down on the supporting cast you have around Zion and Brandon Ingram, man, I just don't know if it's gonna work, bro, because these guys are showing to be unreliable, in my opinion. So there's that. Any other thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with what y'all said. The one thing I'll say, I think you can build one against Brandon Ingram. He's more reliable to stay healthy than Zion. And like I was saying, I took a lot how to heat for this, but Zion is probably their most important thing because he can help them reach their ceiling, but their best player is Brandon Ingram. And in my opinion, I don't think it's even close.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think Ingram's a 2, man.
All right, so is Zion a 1?
Yeah.
What has he shown that proves he's a 1? He's
you
a
mean?
really good
Come on, man.
He's not a 1. Come on, I disagree.
You factoring in leadership, man?
Well,
if Ingram was so much better, then why are the Pelicans winning? Why are the Pelicans in a better position when it comes to the playoffs?
Well, there's a lot of reasons why. That it's not just him, and also Brandon Ingram's missed some games too. And so, but at least look, the best availability is availability, and Brandon Ingram has that over Zion. And I don't want to blame everything on Zion, but he needs to be able to play more games. And so, they still obviously can add some more pieces, but at the end of the day, that's the way I feel. I know you have your opinion on it, and I have not. But the Falcons still have a bright future. I just don't think you can depend on Zion too much. Because if you do that, that just wouldn't be a wise move from David Griffin.
Go ahead.
You have to be prepared for him to miss some games. So that means you need to build the best roster you can to be able to win games while he's out.
All right. But I mean, if you trade him, I don't know what that's going to do to the fan base. You know what I'm saying? Because you kind of like pushing things back again if you do trade this guy. You know what I'm saying? We probably get a good haul for him, but I don't think it's worth it, man. This dude. People have said that this guy he's just too big, man. He just a really big player. But we'll see how it play out, man. Pelicans still got a shot to get into the play-in, based on what I'm seeing with the standings. Certain teams will start to fall back. We'll see how it play out, though.
They have a shot, but it ain't happening.
You think it's happening?
No.
Even with the Timberwolves possibly falling back, the Clippers too?
I feel like the only team they can maybe catch is the Mavericks. But I don't see that happening.
What about you, Leo?
I don't see them kissing it. I don't lie. I don't see them. I was looking at the fans the other day, and I think these fans got BB. I don't think y'all got it, bro.
You don't think we got it?
Y'all, sorry, bro. Like you heard. I remember it was a game when they lost. Was it the Rockets? They lost to them.
Yeah, last Friday.
And you were like, this is over with. it's just not there. Like, it is not because of the talent. It's just not. This is just not their year. It's just not their year. Like, y'all would probably be better off not making the playoffs than making it. Like, I ain't even trying to get no disrespect, but even though y'all are only literally a half a game behind the Lakers for the 10th spot, but only thing y'all better hope for is some people fall off.
I think one of these teams could fall off, man. I think the Timberwolves could fall back. I think the Clippers might fall back, but the Timberwolves could fall back, bro. And the Mavericks. Pelicans just gotta win these games, man. You know, we'll see how it play out, man. All right, we're moving right along, man. We're gonna talk about next up. We're gonna talk about Cam Newton throwing the football at Auburn's pro day as he's trying to attempt to get back into the NFL. I'm paraphrasing here, but there's a quote by Newton that he stated that man, there are 32, you know, I ain't gonna say what he said, but 32 QBs that aren't better than him as a quarterback, and he's trying to get back into the league. I just want to ask you, I just want to say this, man. Like, do you think if Cam would have took the more of the Geno Smith approach and just kind of like quieted down, where, you know, Cam is like a, got a monstrous personality and all that swagger and all that confidence, just dial it back a little bit and just, accept a backup role for right now. He could have been in that Geno Smith, situation where he's getting another contract. What do y'all think?
You can go first, Leo.
On this, okay, I just think Cam Newton, like, I look at this TikTok. You were talking about Cam Newton had did this and so, yeah, and did. I don't think he is built to be, a backup no more. Cause I just think he should personally not. I ain't gonna say he should like just give it up. Cause I'm not gonna speak bad on the man's name. He just like, y'all look at his stats. Has he performed? He had performed. Like recently with the who was he with?
Carolina.
He was 0-5. He didn't do too. He didn't impress me that well with New England. 8 touchdowns and 15 starts. Is that pretty good, y'all?
Man, look what he was dealing with. Look what he was throwing with, though. Look, man. Oh, man.
I'm not DB. He ran for 12 touchdowns.
Of course.
Of course, the legs are always gonna be but we're paying him big money to be at the throw the ball. They're not paying him to be no what you call it, a running back, basically. So I'm just saying, I just feel that personally he should give it up. He would be a great. I think Brian, but I give Brian his credit. He said, if I'm lying, Brian, correct me, but he said he think Cam would be a decent coach.
A decent coach?
Yeah.
Man, I just think, bro, if he would have like just do what Geno Smith did, man. Just, hey, I'm a backup right now. I'm a backup. I'm gonna just collect these checks, get back on the field when I can. You know what I'm saying? He would have took that approach, man. Just kind of like kept his head down, just stay out of the public eye, man. I think he would have been okay, man. Because Geno was backing up Russell Wilson. You know what I'm saying? So that could have been Cam in that situation, backing up somebody. And then, that quarterback didn't move on. He takes a job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think that's such a unique situation. I don't think that's a fair one to compare. And also, how do we know he's gotten offers? We don't. I mean, unless if you know something.
How you know they fair?
I don't know. He's gotten like offers to be a backup, and he just turned them down. No, but what I'm saying is, I think that was just a unique situation for Gino. It was like the perfect situation. Everything was right. So, yeah, I hope he can be a backup. Like I said, not for the reasons you think, but I would love him to be the backup of the Titans. He may win a few games, but I think he's gonna probably loses more games than he wins, and I'm trying to get that number 1 pick, so I wouldn't mind that. But no, he could be a backup somewhere. I hope he gets a shot. But I think he could be a really solid coach. I would love to see him at HBCU. He would. I think the question for great players, either have the patience, but I think he could get a good staff, and I think he could do some work. And even if it's not at HBCU, a small level college, and work your way up if he wants that. But he definitely, if he wants to be in the NFL, he deserves a shot. But we'll see.
I'm going to make a comparison. Well, Cam Newton's been in Charlotte. Cam Newton was in Charlotte. Michael Jordan was, I think, ironically, Michael Jordan started owning the Hornets in 2011. Cam Newton came to the league in 2011. Y'all see Michael Jordan about to sell the Hornets, right?
Yeah.
So, and this is what I'm about to relate to. And now how Brian was talking about how great players sometimes have faces. All that losing and stuff is wearing off on Michael Jordan with the Hornets. So I'm compared to Cam Newton. I don't think as a coach, I think he will be a good coach, but at the same time, it is a legitimate question about the losing, because teams aren't firing their coaches because he's very good.
Mm-hmm.
Teams are firing their, so if he's going somewhere, he's going to a rebuilding situation, wherever he goes. I ain't gonna lie, I think he should coach at high school and then work his way to college, like Deion Sanders did. I don't think he should go take a college job straight up. And does he have the patience to grind? That's the question. He is a pro player, yes, but as a college coach, you never know. So hopefully it works out. Hopefully, if he does go into coaching, it works for him.
So let me ask y'all this. He's saying that he's better. There aren't 32 QBs better than him. So you telling me that Andy Dalton, right? On the Panthers current roster right now, that got Adam Thielen, Hayden Hurst or Honey? They got Hayden Hurst, Miles Sanders, the kid out, the Terrence Marshall. That those weapons. That Andy Dalton is better than Cam Newton. Come on, man.
They may not be better, but look, Cam hasn't played in a while. But like you said, and I don't want to say the reason why Cam is in the league is because of his ego. It may have a little bit to do with it, but some guys are just are perfect for being a backup. There's some backups in the league. I'm like, I didn't even know he was in the league. That's what the backup QB is supposed to be. Now, some teams are fortunate enough to have a high backup who's a low-end starter, but you're not supposed to know who the backup is. That's why, I know this is a different conversation, but that's what when Kaepernick did his thing, he got, well, that was the main reason, but that was one of the reasons why, a backup we're not supposed to hear from the backup. The backup's supposed to kind of stay in his place or stay in his lane. And so, I think Cam deserves a shot. Whether he gets it, that remains to be seen, but he deserves a shot. Even if it's just to get on a roster, at least to start the preseason, then they may cut him. At least he got a shot.
All right, we'll see how it play out, man. But I think this dude could start 4 teams, man. I think he can start for 4 teams out here in the league. Titans, Washington, Carolina, Tampa Bay. He can start with Tampa Bay, man. Come on, bro. Over Baker Mayfield. Come on, man. Look who's getting jobs, though, bro. Look who's getting look who's getting chances, man. You ever noticed that?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, man. Moving right along, bro. All right, next we're gonna talk about some NBA, more NBA content. The Memphis Grizzlies, man. To me, in my opinion, not enough attention is being focused on the Grizzlies, pushing through despite not having John Morant, despite the criticism from the pundits for no exact reason why everybody's just constantly, going at the Grizzlies because you hear this quote a lot about they haven't won anything. So why are they talking? Why are they talking trash? They haven't won nothing. I mean, this team has played. Look, to me, like they've grown up a little bit without John Moran on the court. They've won 7 of the last 7 of the last 10 games. Currently on a 4-game winning streak. They never lost their I would say their seeding in the standings. They probably flip flop between 2 and 3, but they didn't drop like the Pelicans did, and go all the way down to the playing game territory without their best player. They fought hard and they maintained. And this team, I mean, you got veteran. I mean, you got Steven Adams, but that's about it. Steven Adams. Everybody else is like, kind of on the younger side. But this team is I don't think that people are not giving this team enough credit for how good they are in the West without John Morant and all the other stuff that's been going on outside the court. So I just want to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, give credit for Memphis to kind of weathering the storm, the whole John Moran situation. They're playing good basketball, and let's see what they can do in the playoffs. I'll be attending the Memphis Grizzlies Orlando Magic game on Tuesday, so I want to see if they can continue the momentum going in the playoffs. And then again, let's see what they do. The goal is to get to the conference finals. Obviously, the ultimate goal is to win the title, but you got to take one step at a time. And I think they can get to the conference finals. I think they can do that. But they could also lose in the first round. And so if that ends up happening, then it would be a disappointment. But, I mean, I see your point about them talking in the media. Guys like maybe Kendrick Perkins getting on to them. Like maybe and part of it's true. I personally would talk less and let my actions speak for myself, but everyone has their way of doing things. But you better be able to back up what you say. That's all I have to say. And so let's see what the Grizzlies do in the playoffs, and we'll go from there.
For me, as far as the initials, I like their confidence. Like Brian, you were saying about how everybody motivation is different. There's even just talking Dylan Brooks is really a team. I like how nobody's really talking about this, but Dylan Brooks did all that. It's sacrificing. He's taking a lot of it. So to take a lot of pressure off John. A lot of people are talking about this. That's why Dylan Brooks is like this. Going at people and all that. He's trying to take a picture off John, right? And so, honestly, I just feel that the national media, they want headlines. And that's what national media is. You want the headlines and the stories, but they're not giving it. I understand why some people are upset because I just feel that I feel like the narrative on this team is kind of, it's kind of skewed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Memphis gives you, okay, look, Steve, I don't hear it. Only reason why Memphis said anything negative about the John Moran situation because the situation is for itself. You can't justify somebody having guns and clubs, but they really try to protect their own, the media too. But they have, it's no secret, and us being members of this, we know that there's relationships that are cultivated, and understandably so. When you have intimate relationships with these players, okay, cool. But sometimes the fact that the impartiality line becomes skewed a little bit. Whereas national media, they don't have these relationships, so they just gonna say what they think they see. And if it's true, cool. If it's not, we'll apologize later. Sometimes it's not at all.
Most of the time, it's not at all. But
yeah.
They're not telling the whole story though, bro. They're not telling the other side of it, man. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
narrative issue. And honestly, the only way Memphis is coming to really close to the see. And another thing too, Memphis has time on their side when it comes to the core of their players being so young. So they're not, they don't have to win a championship. But at this point, I would feel like anything less than the conference finals would be, kind of that's where if you got to talk all that, you need to at least make that.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah.
What do you think, Brian?
Yeah. It all depends. Like first round, you got to get out the first round. You're probably gonna play a really like a veteran team, maybe like a Lakers or Warriors, maybe even the Clippers. But I think you can win the first round. It all depends on who you lose to. If it's a really, really good team, then you can live with it. You gave everything you got. But if you get like embarrassed or lose to someone you shouldn't have, then it'll be a disappointment. But Ja was able to come back. I'm glad that happened. That wasn't a guarantee. And again, let's see how the season unfolds, and then we'll take it from there. It's going to be an interesting offseason for the Grizzlies too, because I feel like if they're going to try to make a big move, this is that's the time to do it. So how they finish this season, I think, will impact how big. Obviously, you swing for the fences, but if they feel like they're maybe not a star, but a really good player or two away, they may just make that trade instead of trading for a superstar. And I think they have enough in terms of star power. They may just need a really good role player, a really good wing, 3D wing. That's probably what they need. But again, let's see how the season goes, and we'll take it from there.
Okay. So, I mean, I think, a lot of credit should go to the coach too, man, because a lot of teams, man, they just, depending on who it is, man, they could botch this stuff, you know what I'm saying? They could handle this stuff the wrong way. And the PR, all that stuff. But they kind of did a good job the way they took care of business on the court and off the court, man. Unlike the Pelicans that, they just fall apart when their best player out, or two of their best players are out, and they're kind of unreliable to me. So that's why the Pelicans are the way they are, and the Grizzlies are the way they are, because one team is, there's more. I won't call it cohesion, but there's one team that has more reliable supporting cast, supporting players in that support role compared to the Pelicans that could be hot one night, followed by the next night or the night after going cold. So that's how we'll see how it play out, man. But I think the Grizzlies have done a phenomenal job in handling all this stuff. And those pundits will not let this stuff down anytime soon. So it is what it is right now. We'll see how everything play out. All right, man. Close it out, man. We're gonna talk some NFL again. The latest news. We're gonna talk about two wide receivers that are currently gonna be on new teams once the 2023 season kick off. That's more in particular. We're talking about DeAndre Hopkins and Odell Beckham Jr. The latest on the two players is that both players got their suitors. It might be both players probably have the same suitors that are on their services. And I also heard that, there's a talk that both Odell and DeAndre Hopkins could be on the same team together with the Kansas City Chiefs. So if that happens, you would have Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, Isaiah Pacheco, MVS, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, D-Hop, and Odell Beckham Jr. on one team. Would y'all consider that to be like the first ever like super team in the NFL in this era?
Yeah, maybe. I think it's like you can have that, but like Hopkins is not saying he's washed or anything, but he's gonna start declining That's how like some people with the Titans don't want to trade for him, and also the Titans aren't a contender. And I'm not sure if you can have Hopkins and OBJ, especially with OBJ wanting the money he wants. But
What money you want? He denied it.
Say what?
He didn't say that.
Oh, well, okay. He denied it. I didn't know that. All right, okay, that's fair then. But I don't see that happening. But if it did happen, I guess you could say it's close to a super team. They just need to find the best situations for them. Obviously, I'd like to see DeAndre Hopkins get with a contender. OBJ has already won a Super Bowl, and so that's the way I look at it. Maybe, like, I was thinking of this. I was going to ask some Titans fans. If they somehow get Lamar, I wouldn't mind us trading for DeAndre Hopkins, but I don't think that happens. But I just want DeAndre Hopkins to go to a contender, and OBJ, I want him to go for the right spot where he can get another good payday. If that's a contender, fine. If that's not a contender, that's all right. But, yeah, that's the way I look at it.
Go ahead, Leo.
I don't know if I say super teams, because I ain't gonna lie, Odell and D-Hop this days are passing. So it would be a great accumulation of talent put together, in terms of, like, if Odell is at sort of what he used to be, and D-Hop, plays well. Super teams are such because offensively, yes. The defense is still the Chiefs. Can't say anything about the defending champs, man. They're the champs. Yeah, super team. It's hard to call these teams super teams nowadays.
It's hard to have them, though, to be honest.
Maybe a super offense. Now let's see if the defense working with. But I think definitely a super offense. Like a super team. When you got Mahomes, the defense can afford to be a little iffy.
But that defense pretty good, though. It's underrated in my opinion.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I agree with you. I think the defense was shit. They were solid against what's his face? Who they played Super Bowl? Eagles.
Yeah.
They were okay. They weren't gonna hold them to not scoring at all. So they didn't bend when they needed. They didn't break when they needed. When they needed to get stops, they got the stops. So okay, that's what matters. So, but yeah, I think it's a super offense. I agree with you.
Super offense, yeah. I mean, if it does happen, man, it'd be like, to me, man, it could be like the 07 Patriots. It depends. They could be that type of explosive, man, where they just like blow past everybody in the regular season. Once the playoffs start, they get to the Super Bowl, they may run into some problems. It could be like that, because then it would be like, hey, they're already talking about Mahomes as the greatest ever. Them conversations will even intensify if they could go undefeated with these players, get to the Super Bowl, and possibly win it. They'll have people telling them that they'll be the greatest team ever, greatest Super Bowl run ever. You know how it is, man. Prisoner of the moment. But a lot of possibilities if those individuals will get on the field with the same team, But I want to ask you this though, Leo, man. Like, I hear that. So that's the saying that the Raiders are having interest as well. What do you think about that? And DeAndre Hopkins.
I think there will be a legitimate a number two option behind the one. Hey, now if you get him, that offense, Jimmy has no excuse. You get Jimmy Garoppolo. You get DeAndre Hopkins, Jimmy. You have no excuses. And that makes our offense our deep threat even because you can't double Devontae no more. If you got Devontae Adams and DeAndre Hopkins on the same team, they're getting one-on-one matchups.
Yeah.
You can't double one. The other one's gonna get torched. Because either way they guard really one-on-one. Come on now.
That's true.
So yeah, so if that comes true, DB, Raiders all the way.
You think so? Cause they saying that Dove saying that the Falcons, the Ravens, Buffalo, the Patriots, they all are interested in Hopkins. I think something happened around the draft time, though, man. Something happened around the draft, man. It's just right now, it's just a lot of just hearsay, things like that. But we'll see how it play out, man. Hey, Brian.
Yeah.
So if the Titans do trade for Lamar Jackson, what are the pieces around him they're gonna surround him with compared to what they had in Baltimore? You think the GM is gonna be aggressive in that aspect compared to what happened in Baltimore?
They'll have to be. But, I mean, this offensive line is a work in progress. If you can get a guy like DeAndre Hopkins, that's not a start. There'll have to be a lot of moves in the works, or you can just build with him. It'll be kind of tough because I'm assuming he's going to get a decent contract. But if you can maybe build it slowly, when I say slowly, you may need to add pieces in 2 years. So if you can get a team-friendly contract, but a decent enough contract where everyone's happy, that'll be the best way to do it. But I just don't think they can build a contender right away. If you give him time, yeah, but not right away. And speaking of Lamar Jackson, I saw some people, I can't pronounce his last name. He's on the 33rd. The
33rd team? Yeah.
Yeah, and then Benjamin Albright. And they were saying that Lamar should probably go talk about his negotiations through the media. And I know he has that podcast I think he's doing on Instagram. And I agree with that. I think he should let everyone know. Look, I was thinking maybe get on a show like First Take, Undisputed, something like that, and let it be known what the contract situation is, and take it from there. But if the Jets don't end up getting Aaron Rodgers, I think he either ends up with the Jets, maybe the Commanders. But I think it's more likely that Lamar is not a Baltimore Raven. And worst case scenario, I could see him sitting out, but I'll be stunned if that happens.
I don't think he plays, man. I'm not sure, bro. This stuff getting ugly now, man.
Yeah.
What do you think, Leo?
That Lamar situation is tricky, and I think he gets an agent. I'm not gonna, I don't know this man personally. I've never met him, but I think he gets an agent because eventually resilience has to be overcome by reality. You can be resilient for so long about something, but then when you hit reality, you realize that, you can't beat what's in front of you. Like, it hasn't worked. It's like you're beating up a dog with the same, you're hitting a dog with the same stuff, and it's not working. You got to get to an agent. That's my point. You got to get an agent in.
Yeah.
And I was for the independent, him doing his own thing, and let the black man think for himself. And it's not even about a black or white man thing. It's about you. My bad. Folks want Lamar to win, to get to his money. Niggas want you to get paid. I ain't heard nobody saying he don't deserve. People saying he don't deserve the guarantee for me, but folks ain't saying. I ain't really heard nobody say he shouldn't get paid at all. Mm-hmm. I think everybody can agree with that. As a consensus.
Yeah. But you've been hearing people say that Larry McTunsell, set up his own deal without an agent, or I forgot this other player that does it. He sets up his own contract without an agent. The thing that they don't realize, man, is that these guys are not quarterbacks, man. You know what I'm saying? They're not. Them positions ain't breaking the bank, are not breaking the bank for their contracts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but also the contract, I'll look at it again. He took a pretty team-friendly, it was a solid contract in terms of he took the best deal and he wasn't greedy. I think that may be an issue with Lamar. He may be, and I don't blame him because you want to get as much as you can, but it may be best to take a short-term contract and go from there. But when I look at the contract Laremy Tunsil signed, it's a really, really good one, but it's a short-term one. I think it's kind of similar to the contract that some people thought Lamar should sign. I don't know if it was fully guaranteed, but the $133 million over 3 years. I think that's a good deal. I think you should take that. But part of me does hate this whole franchise tag system. I wish if he was an unrestricted free agent, that would be a little better. And we can make things a little better, but if he still wanted that crazy amount of money, then I'm not sure how much would change. But look, he may have to consider betting on himself, signing the tag, and maybe I feel like if I was a team, I'm willing to do I think there's a unique way you can do where you can only give up one first-round pick. I think you'd have to be traded. You couldn't sign the tag. You have to be traded first, then sign something. I don't know how it works, but I could see a team willing to do that. But I'll be standing if a team is willing to give him $200 million guaranteed.
Man, look, I just think this dude might not play this season, man. And if he does, man, he'll come back at the midway point, bro. Cause I just don't see Baltimore budging, bro. This team, Baltimore, will not budge, man. They just won't. And it's unfortunate, but Lamar deserves his money, man. Cleveland, they messed up. They gave Deshaun Watson that big contract, given the optics at the time, and Watson's agent was the one that orchestrated it. You know what I'm saying? And took the backlash. They're dealing with it, but I understand why Lamar wants his money. He's their best player. Without him, they'd probably be picking first in the draft. Without him. So I can understand everything. But we'll see how it play out, man. But I won't be surprised if Lamar doesn't play at all this season, bro. I really don't. Until, somebody come to a medium. And look like that's not happening no time soon. It's not happening in training camp. So we'll see how it play out. All right, that's all we have for y'all for right now, man. Give us a like, comment, subscribe. Let us know how you feel. Listen to this through, if you listen to this podcast through Spotify, Apple, give us a 5-star rating, leave a review. Also, check out strike7sports.com for latest content on the NFL, the NBA, and much more. Have a blessed night. Peace. We out.